There's something special going on in Appalachia. There's something new, old going on in Appalachia, which are the oldest mountains in the world. And I think there is a new recognition of the importance of place. And this place is one of the most biodiverse regions. It's the most diverse food shed in North America, northern Mexico. We have more heirloom seeds under cultivation than anywhere on the continent. There is so much abundance and vibrancy going on in pockets all across the southern and central Appalachian and up into northern Appalachian region. And I think we're really a reflection of what's going on across the world, and that is that people are turning to one another, and they're turning to what's the nature of their place, what fits in their place, and what can they do together to reclaim their economy and their communities. We've had an industrial economy that supported the region around tobacco, around coal, but that big industry is going away. So we're looking to what is taking place, the place of those collapsing industries. Accelerating Appalachia is a huge twist on a business accelerator model. And what we have developed with Accelerating Appalachia is a sustainable curriculum around nature-based businesses.
It's a different ideology to consider environmental ethics as you're trying to grow and become a truly sustainable and regenerative entity.
Nature-based businesses matter because they always point us back to our roots and what causes us to thrive as individuals, communities, and societies on a business level. Without a true connecting point, it's really hard to grow a nation or a region or a family. And nature-based businesses are at the cyclical root system of how we do that.
It's not just about a business that has a corporate social responsibility arm. It's a business that actually really feeds back into nature. So we look for businesses in food, farming, forest products, sustainable textiles, clean energy, botanicals that are coming up out of this region.
Harvest Moon Grill is a local sustainable restaurant that is about real food, real farms, and real impact. We buy food from small sustainable farmers within a 100-mile radius, and our food is impeccable. The way that the world is traveling so fast right now, our food industry is really broken. We've created a lot of fast food sort of mentality, and if we can just kind of stop for a minute. Local food is the heartbeat of our community. It's the heartbeat of our health and our wealth, and so it has a lot of meaning. And it's kind of interesting to see that people really want to know what's in the food and what's in the ground and how to grow it and get back to some of those things that we've just sort of gotten away from.
The beauty of what they're doing is that they're providing great clean food into rural downtowns, into small diner setting, affordable, accessible, and the food is fantastic.
My name is Aaron. This is my wife Susan. We are Grow Journey, the co-founders of Grow Journey. We're a USDA certified organic Seeds of the Month club. We basically make organic gardening simple. And as you walk through our yard a little bit, you can kind of tell we live what we preach. We live in an entirely edible landscape. It's all completely, no synthetic fertilizers, no pesticides, no herbicides, tons of plant biodiversity and species biodiversity, all kinds of insects and critters running around here. And we'd rather see people, have healthy, edible landscapes that are good for themselves, good for their families, good for their pets, good for all the species that we share the planet with. We're less than a year old, and we have members in, I think, almost every U.S. state now, also in Canada and Puerto Rico, so we're spreading pretty fast. So I think what's happening is more people are realizing, okay, organic food is healthier and it's better for the environment. And I have this yard sitting here that's not really doing anything other than growing grass. So I think they're starting to see that land as something that's an asset for them in a way they hadn't necessarily considered. So I think you're starting to see, gardening, if you look across all the different trends, gardening is increasing 43% over the past, or has increased 43% over the past 5 years.
I started making pickles when I was 15 years old. My grandfather would make the spicy green tomatoes, and he never would make enough, so I called him up and said, let me get the recipe, and I started making pickles.
We make locally sourced, consciously produced, small batch pickled products.
Everything we do, we take into account our carbon footprint.
We, from the get-go, knew we wanted to use local produce and American-made jars. We wanted to use sustainable labels and label backing and adhesive, and we kind of looked at every little aspect of our business and how can we make it more local or more sustainable. We have our Blue Ridge beets and our tuxedo beans, which was Tuxedo Bean was his nickname growing up. And then, of course, there's those seasonal items, ramps, a southern delicacy that only grows about 3 weeks out of the year is something that we get to pickle. We're also kind of in it for the sustainability of wild foods and the farmers, but also waste reduction. So we're really here for the preservation of the southern traditions.
I think there's a reason why they call it a business accelerator. It's because it actually forces you to get the stuff done that maybe you weren't good at, or the stuff that maybe you hesitated at doing.
Yeah, I think it moved us forward probably a couple of years in our kind of just planning and our processes and whatnot.
Definitely.
They've really helped us make better business decisions on a daily basis.
It was neat to see that there's other people like me and that I'm not the only crazy person in the world that thinks this way or feels this way.
These businesses that have been a part of Accelerating Appalachia are actually working to improve the environment and to solve issues created by industries so far in modern Western culture.
Once we interface and collide with each other within the accelerator process, they find that they're part of such a large ecosystem and they're necessary to the growth of our humanity, our society, our business culture.
I am so inspired by so many of the young entrepreneurs. They're seeking to enjoy their work. They want to love what they're doing. There's a lot of magic happening here, and creative, resilient folks, they're turning to one another in their place. They have these skills. They know how to grow. They know how to grow, they know how to build, they know how to make. I'm influenced by so many of the young businesses and the young folks that are working with us.